Today's episode is all about a client case study, how I helped my gun violence prevention client go from good to great in major gifts in just 6 months. So we started working together in the fall, and this team was a team of, I believe there were 5 major gifts officers, director of major gifts, and VP of development. Fantastic organization, great branding, great reputation. They were raising around 3.5 million from major gifts, and things were good. They were reaching their goals. A lot of talent, high capacity team, doing well. And the issue was that it was nice, but from the VP of development and the director of major gifts, Liz and Krista, what I had heard was we're just really not aggressive enough. We're not making bold enough asks. And in the words of the VP, that we were there was too much of like letting the flowers bloom when it came to major gifts and results. And so this was, the thinking was there's more that we can do here. We could really go from good to great. And Liz even said, I feel like I'm an A player, but I'm getting B results because we really need some more formal training in major gifts. And it's a critical opportunity for them. Major gifts revenue was a priority. And there was just some coaching needed around where are the current opportunities to be bolder. And so we started working together. It was a hell yes from me personally. And we worked together. I jumped in and just learned everything I could learn, read a lot of their marketing communications assets, really got to know their internal processes, understanding their donor database, identifying untapped opportunities and areas for growth, learning how do you talk about your work? How do you pitch? And part of the issue too was specifically in gun violence prevention work, it's so reactionary. Oftentimes, a lot of the giving happens, sadly, when there is a massive tragedy of gun violence. And so, how do we communicate and articulate what we're doing in a way that resonates with people who really care about this issue and want to see long-term change, and are not so reactionary to what's happening? It's great to respond to tragedy, right? Obviously. And how do we start to bring in more planned gifts and bring in more multi-year 6-figure gifts? That was a priority. So 6 and 7-figure gifts was a priority, and there was opportunity there. We did a 2-day in-person strategy retreat with the entire Major Gifts team. And I came and beforehand, everyone went through Gallup Clifton Strengths Finder. It's called Clifton Strengths now. And it's an assessment that allows you to succinctly articulate, hey, these are the top 5 things that I'm most talented in. And what I do in that part of what I do in that 2-day retreat is allow the team to really understand how their natural talent, how can it be turned into a strength and get really sharp? And how can that be better leveraged to meet your specific fundraising goals in major gifts? So that the team really starts to operate in their strengths and be excited and create that confidence and motivation when you're approaching your portfolio and your work every day. And then I met with one member of the team every week and going over their portfolio, going over donors, talking about their strategy for the next, quarter, the next 6 months, helping the director of major gifts and I co-authoring a pitch deck and a proposal, one pager, things that the team really needed. And there was some support that was needed in terms of copy and getting things that were really going to resonate with those high level donors. And then around month 3, there was a member of the team who was just kind of feeling kind of down in the dumps. And it happens to all of us. And wasn't really feeling like, I don't know if this is the right role for me. I don't know if being a major gifts officer is suited to my strengths. Really important questions to be asking. And if you feel that way, it's great to have a conversation with a coach and a mentor. So here I am, right? And we had a candid conversation. And I said, look, it sounds like you want to be here, but you need to fix your attitude and rediscover why you're doing this work. Why this organization? Why are you here? And, it was tough, but straightforward feedback. And about a month later, I'm meeting with that same team member, and their entire energy, the way that they showed up on the Zoom call, their presence was like a 180. It was obvious that they were super talented, really intelligent, great at building relationships. They absolutely have what it takes to be a kick-ass major gifts officer. And then meeting a month later after that tough conversation, they were like, oh my gosh, Julie, I just closed $1 million gift. And so for me, it was like, yeah, you decided to reconnect to your why and overcome a lot of things that seemed like barriers that were external, but really they were internal barriers. And something that I believe about every human being is that there is greatness within everyone. And I don't ever quit on that. I just have immense faith in people. And so I hold them to a higher standard. I just believe that more is possible. I want to push the boundaries. I want to go to the edge and see what's possible. What can be done if we are bold? What can be done and accomplished? How much can we raise if we really believed that within ourselves greatness is possible, and that our donors are generous, that they want to do the very most they can do. And it's not our job to say no for them. It's not our job to budget their philanthropy for them, which is what we do when we ask for too little, because we're like, that's enough for you. So I'll go over here and go to these people. We got to get real about what we need. And, having really brutally honest, and I say brutally honest because it feels brutally honest to people who are used to beating around the bush, but it's just honest and clear and direct communication and coaching. Hey, it kind of seems like you just you need to turn it around in terms of your internal world and your attitude, your thoughts and feelings about what you're doing is creating your results. You have all the resources you need internally and externally, actually. And when that light bulb went off, oh my gosh, here you are closing $1 million gift. And this person told me, hey, thank you. Thank you for telling me the truth. Thank you for telling me what I needed to hear. You're right. I do want to do this job and I needed to turn it around, and I did. And that was such a beautiful aha moment. And that happened around month 4 of working together. And then months 5 and 6 was really one-on-one meetings with the major gifts officers, working with the VP of development to work on some, hey, how do we make the department meeting better? How do we have more productive time together when we do have meetings? If you know me, you know that I really don't like meetings. I don't like them. Uh, Because they usually suck. I mean, let's be honest. Most meetings suck. They do. We don't know how to run a good meeting. We don't know how to make it actually helpful for people who are there. Of course, hashtag, it could have been an email, right? So being able to kind of optimize some of the processes that were happening within the department was really helpful. And, in the end, um, they definitely, I mean, this is the feedback that I got. We have a much stronger focus on goals and on asking, and our team is more confident. What I loved, the director of major gifts said, she said, you can really feel the lift in the team. You can feel that everyone is motivated. You can feel that we're working within our strengths and we're strengths focused. And that just, of course, made my day. I mean, I love what I do. And I'm so grateful to work with incredible clients like this. And, I personally really care about gun violence prevention. And so for me, it's just an honor to work with this client. Um, and yeah, in the end, each major gifts officer had a much better understanding of what to do with their portfolio and how that connected to the overall goals. Um, and they were already doing so many things well. So it wasn't like, oh, this was like, a huge overhaul. No. Okay. They understood major gifts. They understood, um, how to ask, how to build relationships, how to um, reach their goals. But I think from what went from good to great was, okay, how do we become even better? How do we level up? How do we get bolder in our asks and take advantage of the opportunities that are there and not just kind of take our time with stewardship and maybe missing out on some opportunities that were just sitting there. They were just already there. Um, it's I think a lot of times organizations struggle with, oh, we don't have donors who could give $1 million. We don't have donors who could give 10 million. Meanwhile, that donor that you think doesn't have $1 million just gave $1 million to somebody else. And so part of asking bolder is a different mindset. It's look, I'm not going to say no for people, and I'm not going to assume that they don't have $1 million. If they're giving and they're givers, if they're really passionate, and we've done some research, we've had some conversations, there's an existing relationship there, and there's indicators that they are generous people, then let's just go for it. Let's say, hey, we're trying to raise 10 million here. What is the best gift that you could give towards this $10 million goal, knowing that it's going to impact XYZ impact goals, right? So part of asking bolder is an inside job. It is about being confident in you and yourself and betting on your team and believing in your team and believing in your organization that you're the ones who are going to get this done. It's not a sure thing, but it's something you'd bet on. And believing in the donor. All of this comes back to an immense amount of faith in what you're doing, who you're doing it with, and who you're talking to, and believing the best about them. And I think that can be a really big mindset shift that unlocks a lot of possibility within your current donor database. So, I think overall, this case study is an example of just highly individualized coaching and working with people one-on-one, and then also as a team, creating a culture that is strengths-based and that results in more 5, 6, and 7-figure gifts in just working together for 6 months. So it was just really fun. I love what I do. And I hope that this was supportive to you. I hope that it's encouraging to hear and that maybe there were some pieces in there that you can even think about and apply to your own work and to your own teams, and having a stronger focus on bolder asks and being a bit more aggressive. And that was the word that these leaders used, was we need to be more aggressive and be more strategic in terms of how we're using our time and how we're thinking much bigger than we have been. And if you want to reach bigger goals, your thinking needs to elevate. You need to think bigger. So if that's something that this sounds like supportive to you, and this is the type of support that you and your team might need, if you're a department head, if you're a CEO, executive director, and you and your development team would love high level strategy and coaching and support in some of your donor communications and just leadership development in terms of being a better manager, a better leader, if that's you, and you're listening and you know it's you, then I want you to go to julieordonez.com/million and apply to work with me. I would love to work with you. I'm almost all booked for 2024. So if you want to work with me in the future, apply now to be a private client. I am also launching a cohort model for folks who are looking to raise 6 and 7-figure gifts, $1 million cohort. So if that's of interest to you, you can DM me on LinkedIn, just say $1 million cohort, and I'll know that you're interested in learning more about that. And I love working with teams. I love working with incredibly ambitious, um, leaders who are doing really important work. And I'd love to connect with you and your team, and maybe I can help you. Maybe we can work together. So julieordonez.com. And the program that I just talked about is $1 Million VIP Leadership Program. It's both working on your major gift strategy and up leveling your major gifts results, making bolder asks, but it's also leadership development and coaching, high level coaching, and being able to manage your team and your department so that you're getting the most out of your team. You're not leaving opportunities on the table. If you want help doing that, DM me on LinkedIn. Let's connect. I would love to hear more about your goals and what you're up to. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.